I wasted thousands on Amazon KDP ads, and most advice I got from YouTube didn't work for my book. Hey everyone, this is Laura, and welcome to my YouTube channel. If you're currently running Amazon KDP ads, then what I'll tell you in the next 10 minutes or so could save you thousands. These are not theories, but the hard lessons I pay for, and also conversation between me and my professional ad management agency, and they do this stuff on a daily basis. So if you want to learn how to run Amazon KDP ads, improve your profitability, increase your conversion rate, then make sure you stay for the entire video. Anyways, let's get into it. All right, so mistake number one is actually this common strategy that I've seen a lot of KDP YouTubers must have mentioned at least once or twice in the videos. And yes, this strategy is very beginner friendly, set it and forget it. It might be cheap to convert as well. So you will get some cheap conversions in the beginning, but in the long term, especially if you use this strategy during your book launch, it's going to do more damage to your book than you know. And yes, unfortunately, this is actually auto ads, and that happened to be everyone's favorite. Because when you first launch your book and you let Amazon pick the auto ads, you're giving Amazon the permission to figure out what your book is all about. And Amazon will show your book to a much broader audience than you know. So say, for example, if your book is about AI for beginners, then Amazon might just end up showing your book to, weight loss for beginners, because it actually has to test out what it is. And since you don't give any data to Amazon. So those initial conversion that you get from Amazon, I call it very bad lead, because those people who actually bought your book, most likely they're not searching for your book or searching for that keyword, right? AI for beginners in our example. So in the long run, you're actually encouraging Amazon to show your book to a broader audience, random people, and you definitely don't want to do that, because later during your book launch or after you pass your book launch, right, you want to actually index for those keywords so you get more organic sales compared to spending money on your Amazon ads. And the more organic sales you get, the cheaper it is for you to actually spend money on Amazon ads, right? So how do you do that? Then of course, in the beginning, you have to train Amazon to understand what your book is all about. But if you're just allowing Amazon to pick what it is by running auto ads, it just it's like a wild west, to be honest. You definitely don't want to do that. So my advice to you is simply avoid using auto ads in the beginning, even though it can be very cheap and quick to set up, but this is actually going to do a lot more damage to your book later on. So instead of using auto campaign, what you can do at the beginning stage during your book launch is to simply be very, very systematic and almost like you want to be in control in this situation. Because just think about Amazon ads as like a little baby at this stage. It doesn't know anything about your book. And you want to tell Amazon what your book is all about, not the other way around. So you need to basically tell Amazon the list of keywords that's highly relevant to your book, right? So basically that means if, let's say, your book is about coloring book for adults, right? So coloring book for adults with ADHD, coloring book for adults, and coloring book for women, right? A bunch of coloring books related keywords that's going to be highly convertible, highly relatable to your book. And you should already know these keywords at the time of actually writing your title and subtitle, because otherwise, how are you going to come out with a title or that's going to be converting, right? So that's the thing when you need to do, or the research you need to do during the time or at the beginning stage of you making the book, right? And also true for the type of product campaign you want to run. You should already know what kind of products are highly relatable to your book, okay? And also the kind of bid type I use. I find fixed bids the most relevant, the most accurate, the highly convertible bid type. Not up and down. Up and down is simply crazy. I used up and down once during my book launch. That day I remember my ACOS was simply like 300%. And I'm still to this date, I'm not sure why it's there, who uses it, I don't know, but I used it once, I never used it again. Okay. Also same for down only, because down only saves money for you, right? But it's kind of like you're telling Amazon, or you're allowing Amazon to make the decision for you. But in the beginning, you rather be in control. So say, for example, if you're using fixed bids, right? And you're bidding for maybe $1 per click, and you're telling Amazon, this is what I know about my book. Go ahead and find customers and bring the customer to my book listing page. I'm willing to pay $1 per click. That's the beauty about fixed bids. You are completely in control in this case, and you definitely want to do this when Amazon don't have a lot of data at the beginning stage of your book launch, not the other way around. Mistake number 2 is not so obvious, but something you definitely shouldn't ignore is to simply publish in a super competitive niche. So basically, you're competing against a bunch of self-publishers. At the same time, you also have already established publishing houses, and they will have more budget than you to bid on the same keyword. So obviously, the more people bidding for the same keyword, the higher the CPC, and you definitely want to factor that into the cost, how much royalty you can get per book, right? So when you do the situation, most likely it's going to eat into your profit margin pretty soon, and you'll have to increase the price of your book in order to be sustainable, and that is going to affect the conversion of your book. That is something you need to be okay to accept, okay? Either you increase the price of your book or you just simply stick it out, maintain the same price, but at the same time, basically just bid for the higher cost per click. And well, when you are doing this, you need to think about, can you do external marketing? For example, maybe drive traffic from TikTok or Instagram, or maybe even YouTube to your Amazon book listing page to be as a supplement to your additional sales. Another thing about selling on TikTok is that maybe you simply just want to, or before you make a move to TikTok, maybe you want to see what is the current trend there, and do you see any viral videos that's actually doing well in your niche, right? So say, for example, let's say someone is doing coloring book, and how are they actually promoting the products on TikTok? Can you actually do the same? Because if those people are already doing great things on TikTok, then make sure you go ahead and study those strategy, because it's going to be free marketing. All you do is you don't even need to reinvent the wheel. You simply just do similar type of videos and make sure you post regularly. And that is a beauty about TikTok. But you probably don't want to be the first one there, right? Because then you need to spend time on making your videos go viral, etc. And you definitely don't want to pre-order any inventories without knowing whether you can actually sell on TikTok Shop. Before we move on to the next tip, if you enjoyed the content so far, then make sure to like this video, consider follow and subscribe, because I share Amazon KDP tips weekly, and these are based on my real life authentic experiences. So please turn on the notification bell so you won't miss my future uploads. Anyways, back to the video. Mistake number 3 is simply start running ads without enough reviews. And this is very common among beginners because they don't understand the importance of Amazon reviews. For example, let's say you have a cookbook and your customer just left a review saying that I love your recipes or I love the cookbook. Basically, they just help you to rank for recipe and cookbook organically. At the same time, they also help you to tell Amazon on the back end what your book is all about. So, of course, you want to have as many reviews or organic reviews as possible from these happy returning customers. Not only they're going to help you rank, but they also tell or help you to tell Amazon what your book is all about. So basically, the more organic keywords you can rank for, the easier it is for you to run your ads and lower the ad costs. So make sure you do this step really well. And if you wonder how I was able to get thousands of free organic reviews, make sure to check out this link, because in that video, I actually shared a lot of great tips on how I was able to get thousands of free organic reviews for my book. So make sure you go ahead and check it out. And finally, before you can start running ads, make sure that your book listing page is completely optimized, which means that number one, you have a highly converting book cover, because that's the first thing people will see about your book. Now, secondly, and when people come over to your book listing page, does your book description actually tell a good story about your book, right? Because remember, you literally just have like 2 to 3 seconds to convince someone to go ahead and say, okay, click on add to cart and job done. That is the result, the ideal situation you want to achieve when someone come over to your book listing page. You don't want anyone to click on your book listing page, then click away. And that is going to be a waste of time, right? And also when they scroll down to the bottom of your book description page, there's also going to be the space for A+ content. This is another opportunity for you to further showcase to your customer what your book is all about. So make sure you include as much as possible informations like the interior of your book and benefits by reading your book, and maybe you have bonuses in your book, anything to further promote your book. You want to use the space for your A+ content really well, because why not just do further marketing to your customer to further convince someone to purchase your book, right? So this is how you can actually optimize your book listing page. Very important and super efficient to be highly converting for your Amazon KDP ads. All right, guys, that's it for today's video. If you want to know how you can optimize your book listing page, then I'm going to leave a link somewhere on this page so you can go ahead and watch that video as well. If you found my videos helpful, then make sure to like this video, subscribe if you haven't, and leave me any comments if you have any so I can get to your question in the next video, and share this video with someone who you think can be helpful with. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. Until next time.